Yes guys, welcome back to this week's video. Thank you for joining me this week, and we are going to be changing a few things on the car to try and help that little bit more. So in last week's video, if you didn't see it, click in the corner. I had a bit of a problem. Well, I created a problem for myself. I'm happy to report that I have fixed it, and whilst we're in the engine bay, I will show you what it is that happened, why it happened, and what I did to fix it. So the goodies in today's video are Powerflex insert for the gearbox, a map sensor, and a boost solenoid. Also, we've got some of these. These, as you can probably see, go in there, but I'm not going to try and take this apart just to get the flap, that was not flat, the flappy piece there off and onto them. I'm going to try and remove the rail covers rather, and then try and get those out, get these ones in place. I'll leave a link in the description for these, well, for that and those, because they were off eBay. These came from the James. First thing we're going to get down to is that sensor there. So you've just got two bolts. You've got one there, not that it will focus, but there's one there and one there. Take those out, take the electrical connector off, undo a couple of these hoses, and it just makes it easier to get that out then. Right, that is the old one. So obviously that's how it was sat down in there, and the new one's in nicely. So I did have a problem with this bottom bolt. I managed to round it. Don't do what I did and use the right, use the correct size bit, not the wrong size bit. They're actually T25s, these two are, not T20s. Somehow I managed to undo this one with the T20, but then when it came to this bottom one, it rounded, because obviously it was the wrong size. So yeah, T25 to get those out. Next up guys, we have the map sensor, and holding that on you have, obviously there's a bolt there, which is one of these, and it is an E10. So E10, get that out, take the electrical connector off, pull it out, put the new one in, job's a good one. So new one's all back in, and this is obviously the old one. It is a little bit grubby. Don't know if you'll see it, but it is quite grubby in there. So I thought rather than just clean it out and we'll just get a new one. They're pretty cheap. Paid around 65 quid for that one and that one down there, which I didn't think was too bad. So we have the car jacked up on one side, got an axle stand under it, so that I can have the jack free to try and prop the gearbox up while we try and change this. So with these, they literally just insert. It's not a change of anything, it's just to help the original bushes, which are probably all tired and worn now. So get that one off, and I'll show you how this one goes, but it's pretty self-explanatory. They'll just push in, to be fair. There we have, the mount is off. Now it's not difficult, you know, there's obviously two bolts there which are an E18, and then this one and this one here are 16mm, so obviously just have a socket one side and a spanner the other, you know, work it off. So let's get these bolts out so they don't fall out. Okay, so there we have the mount, and as you can see here, you've got little almost like cut out bits here, and that is obviously to allow for that. So these yellow inserts will be kind of like handed, if you like. So that one, obviously because that's on that side, that goes on there, pushes in that side, and then that one obviously goes on the other side. So I'll take the bolt out, push those in, and then I'll show you obviously what it looks like before we put it back in. And voila, that is that. It's pretty simple guys, you know. It's like I say, they just push in, and then obviously with the bolts and that, it keeps it in place. So put that back on the car now, and I will show you and tell you exactly what it is that I did to fix my issue that I caused last week. Right, so I've got that up, all the bolts are all done up nicely, and before James and Craig pipe up, no, none of them are cross-threaded, thank you very much. So one little trick that I've got is to use a mirror, and obviously as you lay there on your back, if you put the mirror up the side of the bolt, then obviously you can see the holes lining up, and from there it's pretty simple. You're not going to cross thread it like I have done previous times before with things. But yeah, that's just a little tip from me. So I'll say it again, if you had seen in the previous video when I fitted the new exhaust, when I actually fitted it, the actuator arm that you can see there was too close to the V-band. I'd put the V-band in the wrong place, kind of thing. So I've moved that down, and basically what I had to do was, because the little spanner light had come up on the dash, my code reader wouldn't read it to sort of clear it. So I disconnected the battery for 10 minutes, turn it back on. It's been over a week now and it hasn't come back on, so I'm pretty sure that was the problem, and obviously it threw the spanner light up just because it noticed the problem. So yeah, that's been fine since. Okay guys, so it's the next day. I didn't get a chance to do the roof rail cover trim malarkey bits, so I didn't do them yesterday. However, it gave me a chance to take the car out, see how things were, make sure everything was okay. I can report that that is a really good upgrade. I think it's actually made the car feel a bit stiffer in a way. Obviously it hasn't made the car stiffer, it's just made accelerating and changing gear and things like that a bit better. So definitely recommend that. It's nice and easy, took 20 minutes if that, you know. So definitely recommend that. So to remove these trim covers, we've got ourselves a trim removal tool. Now from what I've seen, you just kind of pop that in there and sort of, you know, pry them out that way. So I'm going to have a go this side and let you know how it goes. Wow, that was actually very, very easy. So obviously with the cover in there, put the tool in and sort of like prise it up. If you can try and sort of get one end to come up, then the rest kind of prizes off with it. So I'm going to change them over in a minute, but I'm also going to clean this channel out because, as you can see, it's fairly grubby. So yeah, clean this channel out and probably give the car a bit of a once over at the same time. Change those over and I'll show you how that sort of goes as well, because it looks like they prise together and then pull them out. There we have a nice clean channel. So I'll show you how to get the old ones out. It's pretty simple, to be fair. As you can see, the 1, 2, 3, and there's actually a fourth on the back there. You just kind of like squeeze it together and then it pries out. As you can see on here, I had to get a screwdriver in to sort of push it in because these end ones are quite stiff. But yeah, that comes out of there quite nicely. So looking at the where have I done that? Looking at these, they're all exactly the same. There's no back and front, left and right or anything like that. You've got to make sure obviously you put them back in the same way that they came out. So yeah, I'm going to get onto that now and then I'll show you again what it looks like before we put it back on the car. Last thing to note, guys, just before we put it back actually on the car, I've had to turn the car around because my hose didn't reach far enough, so to turn it around to be able to wash this gully out. Yeah, one thing to note is just there is a little tab, well, a hole for a tab should I say, and you can see just there those two little lines, they go in the tab, so that just helps you to be able to line it up so that obviously the flap isn't in the wrong place. Right, there we have it, all fitted and back on. Another thing to note is when you're actually putting these rails covered back in, make sure you push down on them. I did this side and felt like it went in more than the other side, so I went back across the other side and was actually able to push the clips in a bit more. So make sure they're pressed in, because the last thing you want to do is lose one of these, especially if it's obviously colour coded to the car. So that's it, guys, for this week. I set out what I wanted to do, managed to achieve everything, which is a win. We have to take the little wins when we can get them, don't we? So if you found this useful, guys, for the bushings, for the sensors or the roof rail covers, drop me a like down below, drop me a comment, really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.